gentlemen, welcome out to the Poco Rec Center here on the John Bailey Arena. We've got the visiting Delta Islanders taking on the Port Coquitlam Saints. We are going to introduce the hometown, Port Coquitlam Saints first. Starting in net, number 88, Ashton Brown. Backup number 1, Aaron Price. 2, Nolan Ross. 4, Ty Fisher. 6, Sean Lamishka. 11, Parker Malott. 12, Jensen Jones. 14, Lincoln Wall. 15, Chris Fournier. 17, Joel Mullen. 18, Danny Mahoney. 19, Jordan Meach. 20, Levi Toohey. 24, Marcus Damsgaard. 25, Dylan Island. 26, Woodson McCrae. 34, Josh Mills. 44, Chase Connolly McLean. 46, Ben Owent. And number 77, Andrew Count. And now for the Delta Islanders. Starting in at number 1, Grayson Beggs. 30, Jet Burns. 2, Vaughn Pinchen. 3, Elijah Gill. 4, Turner Anderson. 5, Cole Sampson. 7, Cameron Square. 8, Jake Young. 9, Reese Young. 10, Blake Young. 11, Scott Williams. 12, Sebastian Miles. 15, Jaden LaBerge. 17, Hayden Flack. 18, Rylan Weisbrough. 19, Jared Masnick. 23, Ty Pickett. 24, Ewan Patrick. And number 28, J.B. Thompson. And now if we could please ask everybody to stand and remove your hats for the playing of the national anthem.
With one team looking for a bounce back and the other riding a high, the Islanders and Saints will clash in another edition of Friday Night Lights in Port Coquitlam. Welcome to BC Sports TV, folks, and welcome back to the John Bailey Arena, home of the Poco Saints, who, as mentioned, will do battle against those pesky Delta Islanders who are hot. Let me tell you, and we'll get more into that momentarily after we tell you about some starting goaltenders, and we'll go down to the home crease first. Somewhere in the midst of that pile is the man Ashton Brown, who will man the crease for the Poco Saints. A 3-5 record, a goals against average of 9.72, and an .808 save percentage. He also has 3 assists to his name, one of just 2 goaltenders in the entire league with that many assists, the only other one being Angus Snow of the Victoria Shamrocks. Right there is Grayson Beggs, wearing number 1 as he does so often for this Delta Islanders team. This is the league leader in save percentage at .857. Good enough for a 3-1 record, a goals against average of 7.27. And speaking of assists, 1 to his name. And these Delta Islanders, as mentioned, are feeling pretty good considering the last time they took the floor was at home earlier this week. A situation, which saw them take down the number 1 seeded Coquitlam Adanacs by a final score of 14-4. And oh yeah, they did it without their leading scorer in Jared Masnick. Masnick has found his way back into the lineup here. But we'll watch on for the time being as Poco won the opening draw, and we'll get the first offensive set of the game. Here's Josh Mills. Finds Parker Malott wide open. His shot hit a body in front, goes wide. He battles for his own rebound. Now into the corner. He's got 2 defenders on his back. Still battling for the loose ball, but the shot clock about to expire. Collected by a Delta Islanders defender who will run up. It's Hayden Flack. He'll dish, head off for a change. Vaughn Pinchin next to collect. And speaking of, there is Jared Masnick. Pass looking for Rylan Weisbrod was knocked down. Williams gets it over to the far side. Masnick from distance, couldn't get it through. Jordan Meach putting his body on the line. Now he'll get his feet up the floor and leave for Ty Fisher at the restraining line. Mills, first man on. Meach still out for this offensive shift, rather. He's going to stay and play. Mahoney, he'll drive. Forced to the outside, lobbed one outside to Mills, who scores! Short side on Beggs. It's 1-0 early. Well, that didn't take long, and the Poco leading goal scorer, Josh Mills, gets his 20th of the year. Set a career high in 2023 with 36 goals. He's on his way to match or beat that total. And might he inch closer in this game, already with one. Malott to the corner, to Ross, who looks through the middle. Got it over to Cowan on a twister that bounces in and out of the stick of Beggs. Reset for the Saints. Chase, Hemmerling, McLean. Malott scores! What a beauty from the kid in the top corner, and it's 2-0 Poco. Can't get closer. Can't get closer to top corner than that right there. 10th of the year for Malott. 3 shots, 2 goals. Chalk it up as an ideal start for the Saints, who are looking to bounce back after falling at the hands of the Langley Thunder 24 hours ago. Mills, he's denied on this shorthanded or short side bid. Up the floor go the Islanders. A check from behind by Lincoln Wall knocks his man down. Squarick having a hard time. He's hounded by 4 Saints, still with possession, down on his knees. Saints got to be careful to not take a penalty here as the ball falls between the legs of the Islander. Eventually collected by Benno Wendt. Cameron Squarick was down on the turf for quite some time. Now gets back to the bench as his team goes back for a defensive shift. Mahoney over top of Flack. Shot looking 5-hole would be denied by Beggs. And returning to action for the first time this season is the Delta Islanders captain, Reese Young. Has not played since last season, July 13th, against this Poco Saints team. Finally gets back into the lineup after being out due to injury for the entirety of this season to this point. And donning the C for his club. Now Joel Mullen, it's a 2-on-0, fakes the shot, takes the shot, and he would be stopped by the shoulder of Beggs. Islanders looking for a bounce back and looking for their first credited shot. Currently 6-0 in favor of the home team. Rylan Weisbrod is the late man joining. Elijah Gill tried to skip it to the corner. It's knocked down by the stick of Levi Tui. Batted forward to keep it into the offensive zone. Just 4 seconds remain on the shot clock, though. Eventually it's sent towards Brown, who will calmly collect. Look up to Fisher. Lincoln Wall had a man on his back. It was LeBurge. Ross to Cowan, denied by Beggs. Lincoln Wall would be a game-time decision as Hemmerling McLean stepped through the crease. Beggs did make the save. Now a quick up on the run. First defender came in to knock Masnick off, but able to go straight down the alley and get a shot off on target. Brown made the kick save. Turner Anderson gets it to the corner. Williams to Masnik. Fake shot from distance. He'll tuck his shoulder, drive, look back to the corner. He's being hounded by call-up Woodson McRae. Anderson looking 5-0 would be denied by the stick of Brown. Now Mullen. Watched on by Ty Bickick. Mullen will head off after finding Mills. No defender comes to him until late. Thought about the shot, decided against it. Cowan, late man to join. Malott already with a goal, over to Mills, also with a goal. He'll shoot, missing far side this time. Gets his own rebound, 3 to shoot. Into the corner, he'll throw a soft one that bounced on target. Now Mills on a forechecking effort, but cannot catch the speedy defender. As Poole will get up the floor. Gill to Jake Young. Down low, 10 to shoot. Looking around, the defender is Von Pinchin. A jump shot just missed. Might have caught a piece of the shoulder of Brown. They'll say yes, it did, and goes out of play. So a fresh 30 for the Delta Islanders. A couple of sets of fresh legs coming on. One of them being Scott Williams. On pace for 22 points so far this season. Gill tucks, drives, shoots, denied by Brown. Tui will settle down the loose ball from his crease. Look up and find Jordan Meach. Cowan will be the late man as Wall sizes up his defender. Hands-free shot, misses wide. Didn't touch an Islander. That's going to be a back over against Poco, and Delta's going to get a free clear as this one ricochets all the way back to the Poco end of the floor. Rylan Weisbrod, the Wingate University commit, gets the ball to the righties. Von Pinchin, in his second year with the Delta Islanders, the former Langley Thunder. Shot, scores! Jake Young gets Delta onto the board. Leads this team in assists and points. And now ties the goal leader in Jared Masnik with 12 on Jake Young's first goal of the game. Now Blake Young gets the loose ball on the ensuing face-off. He'll find some space. Good job to keep his feet moving to create it himself. Gill on his wrong side, dishes to the proppers. Williams backpedals away. Shot, scores! Back-to-back shots, back-to-back goals for Delta, and we're all tied up. It'll be Turner Anderson collecting his third of the year, coming off of his 20-goal campaign from 1 year ago. And we are back to square one as Lemishka took a slash while on the ground, able to get it free. Now Ross is denied. A beautiful save by Beggs. Swung his glove up, kept it on the right side of the goal line. Flack is knocked down by Meach. What a hit. Meach is a fiery defender, and he's going to be fired up after that one. Keeps the ball in the offensive zone. Gets a well-deserved break on the bench for now. Malott looking for his second. Can't find it as the ball whistles wide. Now up the floor, low-handed swim dodge by Bickick on his wrong side. He'll shoot anyways, denied by Brown. Rebound comes to the near side. Mullen shows off his hands. Now there's a man up to play. It's Lincoln Wall. Has to wait for the ball to come to him. Gets through, and a big save by Beggs. Falling forwards. Lincoln Wall able to get it on target, but can't get it past the Islanders' netminder. Wall swims through 3 defenders, somehow comes up with it, but he loses it on the trail check. Now Mills steps into his man. Knocks the ball free. It's down on the turf. Everybody stick handling for it. Mills gets an extra shot, and that's going to be interference. He was good on the first few, but that last one is called by the trailing official, and The Islanders will try to take care of this offensive set. Look for their first lead of the game. Pass too low for Weisbrod. Williams takes it off the boards. Skips through the middle. Under 10 seconds remain on the shot clock. That'll bounce well wide and out of play. The Saints will escape danger. No worse for wear. Now Hemmerling McLean to Cowan. Last man in is Fournier. Cowan to Ross, back across. Now through the middle, Malot's open. He'll shoot and can't get it on target. A good defensive stand by the combination of Youngs on the defensive end, Reese and Blake. Shots still favor Poco, but now just by 4. It's 10-6 in that category. Still remains 2-2. Poco got 2 straight early. The Islanders notched a couple of markers on back-to-back shots. Masnick, fake shot, working on Meach. Defended well as the 2 number 19s will do battle. Now Tui causes a turnover. He's off to the races. A partial break. He'll shoot on a twister, denied by Beggs. Rebound off the sideboards. Meach will chase it down. Had that massive hit earlier from about that area on the turf. Now Fournier with a nice move. One more defender to beat. He drops his shoulder. Falling, shooting, denied by Beggs. The newcomer, Daniel Mahoney, is always good for an individual effort. Driving to the goal. Would be stopped this time by Delta's goaltender. Again, if you missed it off the top, Grayson Beggs leads the league in save percentage, .857. Ashton Brown with a save in his own right. And will lob it up the floor, looking for Woodson. McRae has to chase it down. He does a good job to settle the ball and throws a bouncer up to Ty Fisher. Good start to this game for Woodson McRae. Call up from the junior Bs. Wall flips through the middle. Missed everybody but Nolan Ross on the bounce. Under 5 to shoot. Tried to bounce it into the top corner. Maybe just looking for a reset. Regardless, it goes out of play. 9:15 remaining in the opening period. Masnick to the near side. Pinch in, gets it back to the righties. Shot, might have took a deflection through. Brown makes the save. It had to be sharp as a backhanded bid is thrown towards him afterwards. Now Dylan Eilert deflects it over the center line and chases it down. Good pace to this edition of Friday Night Lights in Poco. Mahoney to Mills. Mills on his wrong side. He'll shoot, he'll score. Mills gets his second. Wrong side does not matter for Josh Mills. He's fired short side. Now he goes to the stick side of Beggs. And Poco has reclaimed the 1-goal advantage. Give him 21 on the year. Mills already on hat-trick watch. Still with 8.5 minutes remaining in period 1. Mills back onto the floor and throws one well out of the reach of Nolan Ross.
Saints' third goal and his second of the night, scored by number 34.
Drive, shot wide. Bounces off the end boards. That's going to be back over. Mills wants a quick start. He'll collect immediately. Dish far side. Fisher was waiting. Return feed to Mills. Fisher may stay in play here as the third lefty, clearing space, creating chaos. Mills from distance. Fournier sets a screen. Mills tried to throw a drop pass towards him, but he was tied up by the defender. Mahoney finds Malott. Fisher scores! On the one-timer, no, they're going to wave it off. I didn't see anybody in the crease. but no goal regardless. And Ty Fisher, much to the chagrin of Jeff Fisher, would be denied his first of the season. Wall to Cowan. Couldn't corral it. Blake Young finds it in the corner. Feeds brother Reese Young. And why not Jake Young on the floor, and the captain scores! In his first game of the year, he finds the back of the net and ties things up at 3. Put that in the category of juice goals. Captain gets back into the lineup. First game since last season. Yeah, I think he's pretty fired up after that one. And with him getting back into the lineup for this one, he's now 2 games shy of 50 in his junior A career. Another shot sent towards the 5-hole of Brown, an easy save for him. Now Levi Tui finds Lincoln Wall. Chris Fournier back to Wall. Gets around the first defender. He'll fire on the run and score! This one looks like it might end up being a barn burner here, folks. Wall on the run. Top of the key, fires past Beggs. And Poco gets one back again. They are once again back in front. On Lincoln Wall's 14th, and the ensuing faceoff goes the way of Delta. Might this one follow the same script as last? Elijah Gill elects to slow things down. Sean Lemishka was dumped down to the turf. He'll take a sprint off. Replaced by Marcus Damsgaard. Delta still facilitating their change. Weisbrod gets it down low. Williams across. Gill galloping towards Mullen, who does a good job to keep him at bay. Shot is stopped by Brown. Rebound falls to Mullen. He'll shovel it forward to McRae.
Scored by number 14, Lincoln Wall.
Here comes Mills. Late change for the Saints. Mills shoots. He's got a hot stick. Why not? Good job to collect the loose ball by Chase Hemmerling McLean. Creates a reset opportunity for Poco. Mahoney to Mills. Reaches to knock it down. He drives, feeds Hemmerling McLean. Back across Mills, one hand on his stick, able to knock it down, but takes a hit from behind, and ball goes loose to the corner, collected by Delta. They'll clear center with ease. 5 minutes remain in the opening frame. Masnick sidestepping his way to the corner, now takes a look across. Passes on the mark for Jake Young. Keeping his feet moving, runs into a triple team though, and can't avoid the crease before he could fire it on target. And Benno Wendt will clear. Poco looking for a bounce back effort after their loss to the Langley Thunder last night. A game which they led 7-2, end up losing by a final score of 10-9. It was 7 straight goals by Langley in the middle frame, stretching across to the third period. And despite a late effort, Poco unable to draw things even, and you know that's going to be one that frustrates this team and management. As Masnick tucks, shoots. That'll go off the leg pad of Brown. Through the middle, it's on the mark. A good hit by McRae. The call-up drops his shoulder and knocks down the Delta forward. Stopped a scoring chance himself. He's injected some life into this Poco team early and has looked strong in his first bit of action with the Junior A Saints. Now Cowan to Malott. Quick movement here by Poco in the offensive zone. A twisting shoveler by Mahoney. Misses well wide. 4 to shoot. Wall looking for another. He'll dish across. Mills will try to shovel one home for his hat trick marker, but Beggs keeps his stick down. Pass is picked off by Lincoln Wall, and Poco, who is already going back to the defensive end, can get their offensive cavalry back onto the turf. Beggs will want to right his wrong with a save here. Ross fakes the drop feed, gets back over top. It's tied up by Squarick. Now Cowan driving downhill. Forced a pass to Mills. It was deflected, and Mahoney can't get it anywhere near Mills. So Delta escaped this time after an unforced error. They'll try to get things back to even. Anderson with a goal in this frame, watched by Mullen. Across, pinch in, nice move. He'll shoot, kick save by Brown. Fisher collects. He'll sprint forward. An Islander forward fell. It was Elijah Gill. Took a look to the official, wanting a call. Said official disagrees. Mahoney to Wall. Thought about the shot from way downtown. LeBurge kept him away from any clean angle. Pass well outside to Mahoney. Drop past him a lot. Kick saved by Beggs, and nobody near the rebound but an Islanders defender. Ewan Patrick will stop up and wait for help. Backpedals to the corner. There's a penalty on the play. A legal substitution is going to be the call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm no expert, but don't think you can do that. Extreme Threads is the official uniform supplier for the WLA and teams around the world. Your one-stop shop for customized team or company apparel, embroidery, screen printing, sublimated uniforms, and more, George. ExtremeThreads.ca. George, I dare you to think of something that Extreme Threads can't do for you. I can't think of anything either. Poco power play, first chance of the game with 95 seconds remaining in the opening frame. Shot is sent wide. Malott refuses to give up on the ball, though, and keeps this power play on the floor. 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Put it down to 0. Cowan between the legs of Beggs. Not sure if he's going to be credited with an assist, but if he is not, give Parker Malott a third assist or something. If he does not keep after that loose ball to keep the play alive, Delta is going the other way. And Poco now goes 1 for 1 on the power play early. 33% coming into this game. Their power play, rather their special teams in total, have been a bit of a struggle for this team this year. The league's worst penalty kill, and in the bottom half of the league as well. What a catch by Mahoney. One hand on his stick. Just hammers it towards the goal. Beggs makes the save. Now a quick pass up. Islanders look to get back within 1, and there's an injured player up the floor grabbing at their left knee. I can't see a number right now. Already with some wrap on there. I believe it's Hayden Flack. And he is in some discomfort as the trainer comes onto the turf to give him a hand. And never a good sight when the player already has something that they're nursing, as shown by some sort of orange wrap on, I believe it was the left leg or left knee, rather, of Hayden Flack. couple of the Islanders players have made their way onto the turf as well to assist if needed. And I think the telltale sign is going to be any kind of pressure he may or may not be putting on that leg when he does eventually get up. And the answer is 0. It's his left leg. As you can see there, getting helped up. And basically putting all of his weight on his teammates. So for now, at least, Hayden Flack will be out of this game. There is just 42 seconds remaining in the period. So we'll see what his status is come the remainder once we get past this intermission. And he's just going to go straight down the tunnel. That is not a good sight. Still have a game to get through here, and it will be Poco ball in the offensive zone. Cowan wants an early shot. He's going to take it. And some friendly fires. That one goes off the shoulder of Josh Mills. Now Delta's going to go up the floor. There's 34 seconds left. Do they want an early shot now? Down to the crease, back to the perimeter. Here's Masnick. He'll spin away from Jensen Jones, who keeps him at bay. About an 8-second difference between the game and shot clock. So if Poco can get possession here and call a timeout, they can hang on. They do get it now. Ty Fisher wants to go onto a run. Gets around his man. It turns into another 2-on-0. Shot is denied by Beggs. Rebound into the far side corner. Brown stayed in the net, though. So Delta wants a quick shot and won't get it on target as Levi Tui will be credited with a save. Poco led 2-0 early to open this game before Delta battled back, and from that point forward, it was shot for shot between these two clubs until these late stages when Poco scored 2 straight to put themselves back in front by a pair. And that's how we find ourselves at this 5-3 Saints lead through the opening 20 minutes. We will step aside for the time being. When we return, second period action will be just around the corner. Thanks for joining us on BC Sports TV. Back just in time for the second period of this matchup between Poco and Delta, and it's the Poco Saints leading by 2, 5-3 through 20 minutes of action. They also lead in the shots category for those keeping track. Turner Anderson currently leads the way with 2 points for Delta. Lincoln Wall and Chris Fournier, actually there's 4 of them. Wall, Fournier, Mills, and Mahoney, all with 2 points across the board for the Poco Saints. It was a well spread out attack for the home team. Ashton Brown stopped 13 of 16, good enough for an .813 save percentage through 20. Delta gets the first offensive set of period 2. Williams scores! First shot of the period, first goal. Delta back within 1. Scott Williams won't even let me get through my read of stats here, George. Yeah, how dare, that's what I was going to say. Well, 26 seconds in, Williams gets Delta back on the board, and look out because here they come again. Mullen deflects the pass, but Blake Young able to keep it and forward it into the offensive zone. Masnick has made his way on. Williams has made his way back on. Weisbrod has possession. He tucks underneath his man, shoots. Stopped by Brown, and Mullen will collect from the crease. Well, what I was going to say before I was interrupted by Scott Williams scoring is that his goaltender, Grayson Beggs, has a .762 save percentage through the opening 20. 16 saves on 21 shots. Mills looking for his hat trick marker. He's tied up, 10 to shoot. He'll fire off a stick. That'll go out of play. No deflection, says the low official. There's a man up. It's Gill. He collects. He shoots. Brown makes the save. Interference will be the call. Gill will be the culprit. Another loose ball credited to Woodson McRae. He'll head off, replaced by Chris Fournier. The 13th overall pick in 2024 to this Poco Saints team. Mills gets around, drives, shoots, Beggs with the glove save, stick side. Grayson Beggs formerly played for this Poco Saints team. Young gets it down to the crease, and Anderson would be denied by the left leg of Brown. Now Mullen has a lane to the goal if he wants. He gets over center, initiates the contact, dishes, shoots, scores! Benno went into the top corner. Poco back in front by 2. Credit to Mullen for quickly getting into the offensive zone and drawing 2 defenders. Benno went, able to receive that pass and fire at top corner past the left shoulder of Beggs. The second period has been a noteworthy one for the Saints throughout this season, and they would love to keep their foot on the gas here and try to exercise some of those demons from last night. Turnover though. Squarick will get back into the O-zone. Stiff shoulder by Masnick. Through the middle, it's on the mark. Shot, scores! Weisbrod. Both teams continue to go shot for shot here. We're not even 2.5 minutes into this period. The gap in the middle of the defense was a massive one. And Rylan Weisbrod able to knife his way through. Masnick floats the pass perfectly into his stick. It is a 1-goal game once again. Scramble play off the faceoff. Fisher going to battle without a stick. He knocks his man down. Will be called for interference, however. Masnick gets it back to the perimeter. Anderson couldn't pick it up off the carpet. Eilert finds Mills. He's got a lane to the goal. He'll shoot. He'll score. Mills, hat trick. Almost ran out of room. That's about as close as you could get to being in the crease without going in. And Josh Mills continues to cement that team lead in goals. Now up to 22 with his third of the game. And Poco is back on top by 2. They have yet to get past this lead total. Wall will try to change that. He tiptoes the crease. Mills back on. This three-headed monster for the Poco Saints, and Wall, Cowan, and Mills all back onto the turf. Across, backhand shot from Mills. Just floats wide. Up the floor, look out. Benno went with a goal in this frame. Closed the gap on Ty Bikic, who gets to the bench. Now Patrick dishes to the lefties to go to work. Shot sails wide of the goal. Saved near the center line, though, by Weisbrod. Fisher works on him. Brown makes a stick save from distance. Weisbrod was just looking for a rebound, but nobody in deep to collect. Jensen Jones will clear. Ross. Next man to collect. Mahoney has made his way onto the turf. Lincoln Wall will be the late man. Gets the screen from Fournier. Drives low. Can't avoid the crease. There was a lane available for a moment, but a good slide by the far side defender. Now they score at the other end. Believe it was Anderson. Delta doing a great job of responding whenever Poco takes a step forward. 1-goal game once again. Feels like this is where we're gonna find ourselves throughout the entirety of this game. Face-off violation against Delta. Allows Poco the free clear. Wall with 1 goal in the opening period, back onto the turf. Joined by the aforementioned three-headed monster in Cowan and Mills. Mahoney finds it, still with time on the shot clock. The defensive change for Poco had already started, though. So Wall just getting back onto the turf. Now he's got 6 to shoot. He'll fire into the stick of Beggs. Fast break chance for Delta as the pass is just out of the reach of Bikic, trying to chase it down. Now he's got a battle with Jones. So those two will bump into the boards. Bikic continuing to battle. Mahoney has made his way into the defensive zone, and he'll look forward, connecting with Woodson McRae. Mahoney is going to stay here. A little bit of up, down, off, minus the off. Ross gets around the first defender. Dishes to Fournier. He'll get over top. Shot stopped by the right leg of Beggs. Lost it for a moment. Able to dig it free. Now LeBurge gets it to the corner. Jake Young has made his way on. Kept to the outside. Nice move by Masnick. Makes another. Drive, stopped by Brown. Rebound goes to the corner, but Masnick was the next to take possession after stepping through the crease. Once again, can't do that. Poco back into the offensive zone. This is Andrew Cowan. Had a power play marker in the first period. Ball is floated to Fournier, who had to leap and reach back. Eludes him. Lincoln Wall finds it. Nice move on the sidestep. Shot denied by the stick of Beggs. Lincoln Wall puts his defender on skates. Carter Torek gets it forward. Young finds Weisbrod. Scott Williams will be the late addition to this offense. Gill tucks underneath of Lemishka. Drop pass looking for Anderson. Falls to Weisbrod and a kick save by Brown. Rebound is collected by Anderson. Fresh 30 for Delta. Williams gets away from Fisher. Pass handcuffed Anderson. Ends up hitting him in the helmet. Taken away by the Saints. Mahoney finds Fournier. Mahoney with it again. Heavy shot. Bounces wide. Goes into the rafters. LeBurge. Quick up over center. Delta wants to push here in transition. Patrick into the stick of Brown. Now he has a man up the play and puts that into the rafters himself. Woodson McRae had hopes and dreams of his first career Junior A goal, but the ball doesn't make its way towards him. Instead, Delta will start off in the corner. Young to Williams. Young will drive. He'll get the feed. He'll shoot, and Brown takes that from one knee into his shoulder. Damsgaard will sprint the floor. Ross next to touch. Cowan will be the late man. It's a lefty strong set for Poco. Ross to Mills on the hunt for 4. He'll swim, tuck, and move it to the corner. Back across the crease, and the one-timer from Malott. Between the legs from Mills. Off the stick of Beggs. That would have found its way onto a highlight reel. Now the Delta captain, Reese Young, gets up the floor. He scored in the opening frame on his first shot of the season in his first game of the season. Not a bad stat line for him. 11:40 remaining in the first, 10 left on the shot clock. Passes on the money, shot is not. Anderson collects off the boards, he's knocked down by McRae. Delta's got to get something towards the goal. A spinning back shot from Masnick. A hope and a prayer, but not on target. Poco gets over the center line. A rare righty strong set for the Saints. Ross, Mahoney, and Malott. Lefties will be Mills and Fournier. Fournier tucks, finds Mills. Shot over a screen into the shoulder of Beggs. Ross finds the rebound. Mills back to Malott. Mahoney, he'll shoot on the run. It's blocked by a defender down to the turf. Fournier has it with a lane. His pass across is knocked down by Blake Young. And he'll get the pass from his goaltender. Now numbers for Delta. Young on his wrong side. He'll shoot wide. Ewan Patrick had just come off the bench. Right place, right time to keep the play alive. Halfway through the shot clock, just about halfway through the period. Jensen Jones is the defender to close the gap on the Islanders forward. Jake Young in the offensive zone. Ball to Gill, but he ran out of time after running into some defenders. And Grayson Beggs has to get something fixed on the Islanders bench. He and Ashton Brown will make the goaltenders trot towards their respective benches. I was about to say shots are even at 26, but right as I looked up, sporadically, George, 3 shots made their way onto the board for Poco. It does happen. That does happen. Looks like, from my vantage point, just a strap has come loose. Grayson Beggs has been unbelievable this season for the Delta Islanders. So has Jet Burns. As I was mentioning before the game started, Delta has elected to go basically 50-50 between these two goaltenders. Neither of them have played in back-to-back games from my understanding. Both of them have played almost identical minutes coming into this game. And 239 for Jet Burns. And guess what? 239 for Grayson Beggs. And if the league-leading save percentage of Grayson Beggs wasn't good enough for you, well, Jet Burns leads the league in goals against average. Nice trail check by Rylan Weisbrod to knock the ball loose. Poco has to get this over center. They can't in time. The forechecking efforts of the Islanders earn them another 30. Now Weisbrod goes to the goal and scores! The low defender didn't take a look, and Weisbrod takes advantage. You can see the lack of slide from the defender in the middle. And Weisbrod able to just hammer that through Ashton Brown. And would you look at that, George? We're back to square one. 7-7 on Weisbrod's second of the game. And Delta's 27th shot. Joel Mullen able to find the loose ball. Face-off win will be credited to Sean Lemishka. Ross on the skip feed. Drops to Mahoney, who dropped the ball afterwards. Tries to wrap up his man. It's Blake Young able to get away, and now he's off to the races and puts it into the logo of Brown. Almost some friendly fire as Damsgaard couldn't find the handle immediately, but Brown, heavy on his stick, keeps it on the right side. Malott scored in the opening frame, as did Andrew Cowan. Would not on that shot, though. Beggs with the stick save. Sampson shopping for a target. He finds one near the bench. As Ewan Patrick finds Masnick, gets around his man, and a kick save by Brown. Rebound goes to the corner. Masnick will dig for it. Benno Wendt comes in to help for the Poco Saints, and it rolls right to Mullen. Now numbers maybe for Poco. It's a 2-on-1. Mullen with Damsgaard. Mullen will shoot, and a kick save by Beggs. Mills finds it. He's pinned right now. Keeps his stick low to the turf to try to keep control. Eventually lost it. Now mixing it up with an Islanders defender. Ball will go the other way in transition. Over to Young, and a save by Brown. I guess I should specify which Young, as there are three of them in the lineup. Jake, Blake, and Reese. At the very least, two of them are defenders, Reese and Blake. Brothers. Cousin Jake. Thank you, Jeff Fisher. It takes a cast of thousands in the booth. Maple Ridge boys. That I did know. Speaking of Youngs, Reese Young gets it to Masnick. He'll drive and shoot, runs into Brown, and Benno Wendt not happy with the contact that his goaltender just had to take. And there will be a penalty being called to Jared Masnick, who will make the disappointed march towards the sin bin. Goaltender interference, I believe, will be the call. And if you're looking for somewhere to go after the game, why not Port Coquitlam's Boston Pizza? A family restaurant sports bar serving great food, including pizza, pasta, wings, and so much more. Poco's Boston Pizza, proud sponsors of Poco Junior Lacrosse. So the Saints already 1-for-1 on the power play. Andrew Cowan scored in the first period. Might he find another? Motion underway. Here is Cowan looking for a target in the middle. Ross tucks underneath. He'll shoot. Didn't get through. Blocked by the low defender. It was Squarick, and he wants to go off to the races. It's a 3-on-1. LeBurge will be denied by Brown. It got through him, but Levi Tui able to pull it off of the goal line. Saved a shorthanded goal against, and that's been something as well that's kind of plagued this Poco Saints team throughout this year. At least one shorthanded goal has been scored against them in 4 of their 9 games this year. Ross, another block. Reese Young putting his body on the line this time. Now Cowan will fire into the stick of Beggs. That's the same way that he scored the power play goal in the first. Now they're halfway through the goaltender interference penalty to Jared Masnick, and by this time, last time on the man advantage, they had found the back of the net. Now 6:10 remaining in the second period. About 40 seconds remaining in the penalty. Saved by Brown. Mullen collects.
Delta Islanders penalty going to number 19, Jared Matthew. 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, 7:26 of the second period.
Mills collects. 25 seconds left on the penalty. Across the crease, back to Wall, one-time shot, denied by Beggs. Rebound collected, and this is where Poco's got to be careful of shot selection here. 13 seconds until the penalized player will come back out. Mills, he'll shoot. Elbow save by Beggs. The rusty gate check from Mills. Don't see that too often in the box game. Back to even strength. Poco 1 for 2 on the power play. Masnick right in the offensive zone. A nice swim move and finds his way into the corner. Fisher keeps him in said corner. And that matchup will come together once again. Masnick gets through this time and fires one, not missing by much. Brown just got the shoulder over in time. Benno went. Was knocked off the ball by Young. Blake Young, that is. And then he knocks down Tui, who is shaken up. Some rough stuff here, but Levi Tui is down on the turf. We've already seen an injury to this game. It was Hayden Flack back in the first period, and he has not returned. Now Levi Tui will head off mostly under his own power, but with a little help of one of the Poco coaches. I believe that was Kevin Shoemaker who came out to give him a hand. And I think I saw the official signal a face-off. My suspicions are confirmed. Sean Lemishka has made his way back out onto the floor, as has Sebastian Miles. So those two will do battle. It's swept to the near wing. Gill can't find it. Right in front of the Delta bench. It's a rugby scrum down there right now. There's a Delta Islanders player that has it. Gill is mixing it up with Damsgaard. They're both tied up. And away from the play, Joel Mullen gets it over center. Well, that took a while. But we're back at it. Malott to the trailer, Mahoney. Mills gets away from Squarick. Wall is open. Mills keeps possession. Back to Mahoney. Flips to Mills. He'll shoot off the shoulder of Beggs. That's a sharp stop for the Islanders goaltender. There was room available in that top corner, and Beggs able to deflect it out of play. He is seeing the ball well in this game as well as this season overall. Now Wall drives and scores! Somehow got that through, somehow avoided the crease. Let's take another look, shall we? The heavy step with that right foot. And leaps across the crease of Grayson Beggs to put Poco back in front by 1. Jeff, did you pick this goal song? Okay, you're shaking your head like I'm into it. I was about to start singing along into the broadcast. McRae denied by the stick of Beggs. Now Meach finds it. A backhander goes wide. Mullen finds it. Poco thinks that they are owed a goal here with the amount of shots they had on top of the crease. Finally, the defenders will get the ball to the offense and let those guys go to work. 10 to shoot. Mills to Mahoney. Back across to the lefties. Hammerling McLean. He'll drive. He'll shoot and can't get it through. His stick was tied up. Now Young makes a nice move over to Ewan Patrick, who puts it wide. Check that. It'll be a save to Brown. Track meet starting to open up. Mullen streaking over the center line. Weisbrod is stuck on the defensive side of center for the time being, and he's going to be stuck out there for this entire defensive shift as Poco gets it deep into the corner. Malott across to Mills. Heavy screen is set. Mills gets over top. He's on his wrong side again. He'll shoot regardless. He scored on a similar play back in the first period.
Poco Saints, 8 goals, and it's his second of the evening. Score
Miles.
number 14, Lincoln Wall.
Enthusiastic goal call by PA announcer to the Stars, Jeff Fisher. Pass through Williams, and did that make its way on target? Yes, Brown with the save, and reset goes the way of the Islanders. Masnick watched by Mullen. Nice move to spin over top, gets it back to the lefties. Young through the middle, Williams couldn't handle the pass. Meach is always good for a transition chance. Of course, he'll sprint it over. Poco screaming for a too many men call, not going to get it. Braden Wilkins and Nick DeSantos, the officials in this game. Mahoney to Mills, 5 to shoot. Off the left foot of Beggs and out of play. Souvenir for a couple of Saints fans who scramble to find the ball. Mills with it once again. Mahoney fakes the drop pass to Chase Hammerling McLean, finds Mills. He'll go around a screen. Heavy shot that's well off the mark, and Delta will collect from below their goal line. Quick pass is on the mark to Jaden LeBurge. Anderson is streaking off the bench, doesn't get the pass. LeBurge decides to make the safe play and connect with Weisbrod. Poco leading 8-7 with 60 seconds remaining in the period. Gill over top, watched by McRae, a rising subber that's stopped by the elbow of Brown. It goes behind the crease and collected. Masnick, swim move, spins away, past a distance. It's Von Pinchin and leaping to get a shot off that would be stopped by Ashton Brown. Quick up, that's on the mark to Marcus Damsgaard. 32 seconds remaining. Poco unable to get an early shot, but they'll hope for a shot and a rebound and maybe a timeout to boot. Leading by 1. 20 seconds left, 10 on the shot clock. Mills drops a shoulder, reaches around Beggs and can't get it on the mark. It'll go out of play. Clock kept running for a couple of seconds, but Delta able to call timeout with 12.8 officially to work with. Head coach Logan Schuss will call timeout for the Islanders. Offensive coordinator Jordan McBride down there with the clipboard trying to draw up a play. George, you think we can see what they're drawing up? I don't think so. Yeah, we'll try. He is cameraman extraordinaire George Parra for a reason, but those are some wide shoulders combining between Rylan Weisbrod and Jared Masnick. Don't think we're going to be able to see that clipboard. Not for a lack of effort, Georgie. No clipboard by the defenders of the Saints. I think the messaging is stop the Islanders. That's what I would say, at least. But that's why I'm not a head or defensive coach in the Junior A Lacrosse League there, George. I don't know how helpful that advice would be. Yeah, that's the only reason. Thank you very much, George. Careful. Empty net for Delta. Rylan Weisbrod is going to start off from his own side of center. You've got Gill, Young, Williams, Masnick, Weisbrod, and waiting to see the low forward on the near side. Ball goes to Gill, and the Islanders are going to run out of time. It was Ewan Patrick, and I believe the play was drawn up for a one-timer sent towards him. But a scramble play will end that possession and end this period. 8-7 Poco leads after a late goal from Lincoln Wall. And with 20 minutes remaining, these teams will look for some adjustments in the intermission, and we'll look for a quick breather. Hey, George? Yeah. Let's take a break, George. We'll be back after this. 20 miles, 20 smiles, Georgie. Welcome back to BC Sports TV. Welcome back to the John Bailey Arena, and welcome back to third period action. It's Poco, it's Delta. Oh, and shout out to Delta's shirtless goalie. Thanks, Jeff. Jet Burns, that is, backup netminder. Maple Ridge guy, that's right. There's some Maple Ridge flair in the booth here. 8-7, the Saints lead. As Blake Young grabs another loose ball. It is unfortunate that in the BC Junior A Lacrosse League they don't keep track of loose balls, because Blake Young, by my count, has probably 8 to 10 and still with a period to go here. Williams tucks underneath a Mullen. Defended well. Now Meach closes the gap on the far side. Shooter. Glove saved by Brown. Mullen will sprint the floor. Malott to Mills. Lincoln Wall, who put this Poco Saints team in front by one in period 2, a late crease dive. Thought about it again, but he's forced away by LeBurge, and a great stick check to knock the ball loose of Lincoln Wall, who was trying to feed to the near side. But a pass to an unsuspecting target up the floor. I believe it was Jaden LeBurge, actually, who would have been sent forward in transition, but looked away at the last second. Poco's going to take it back. Here's Wall. Nolan Ross gets the pick. He's going to drive. He's going to shoot. A glove saved by Beggs. What a stop to start the period for Grayson Beggs. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. He has been sensational. This goaltending duo of the Delta Islanders has been sensational. In Beggs and Jet Burns. Masnick, he'll shoot from his wrong side. Took a deflection, the outside official says, off of a Poco player last, and Delta's going to keep. Ewan Patrick, watched on by Woodson McRae. Weisbrod tucks underneath, dishes to the corner. Williams stopped by Brown. Pass up to Fisher. He'll connect with Josh Mills, a couple of the rotating assistant captains for this Poco Saints team. With the graduating Braden Lady after the conclusion of last season, Poco not wanting to go with a captain this year. Instead, they'll rotate through a couple of assistants. Now Pinchin to Jake Young. Stick side save by Brown, and Jensen Jones drops to his knees to make sure that ball doesn't roll anywhere outside of the crease. Mills was stuck on for a defensive shift. He'll go up, down, and back up. They're going to try the hidden ball trick. Doesn't work this time. Mills takes a high stick, and that's going to be interference as Wall got the stick down on the lower back of Squarick. Shots now 41-40 in favor of the home team. Williams working with Weisbrod. Defended well again by Woodson McRae. He has been a defensive standout in a call-up role for Poco. That shot sails wide of the goal. Collected by Ben Owent. Got to be careful of the crease. Shots now even at 41. Masnick gets it to Gill. Jake Young will be the trail man coming in late off the bench. Gill behind the net. They're going to try to dunk into the top corner. Ewan Patrick would be denied by the crease violation. No save necessary for Ashton Brown. Now Chase Hemmerling McLean finds Parker Malott. Scored way back in the first to make it 2-0. Nothing since. Now he'll skip across to Cowan. Defended by LeBurge. Mahoney has to take it off the bounce. 5 to shoot. Malott from distance into the stick, and a big rebound off of Beggs. Now Cowan is going to play a defensive shift. And as the Islanders defender makes the sprint away, it's Blake Young, and actually he's going to come back. Made the initial beeline towards the bench and hooked his way back into the offensive zone. Anderson works his way behind, avoids the crease. Jake Young is there. He'll shoot it off the glove, gets his own rebound, or tries to at least. Tui tries to split a couple of forwards, forechecking. Unable to do so, and Jake Young will find possession. Blake Young played a lot of offense in his minor lacrosse career. Now plays more of a transition role, but always good to stay in play. Now on the bench as Weisbrod has made his way on. His pass is deflected. Ewan Patrick will collect. Jake Young, 5 to shoot. He'll go off the glove of Brown. Big rebound over to Anderson. Finds it with a man on his back. Ewan Patrick started to change. Now back out onto the turf. Weisbrod. Lefty strong for the Islanders. Patrick off the right leg of Brown, and Jensen Jones will collect. That was an extended defensive shift for the Saints, but finally they crossed that center line with possession. Fournier with Mills. Fournier sets the screen. Mills goes down to the turf, still with possession. He's back to his feet. 10 to shoot. Gets it to the corner for Wall. Tucks underneath on Reese Young. Gets towards the crease, feeds Mills. 3 to shoot. He'll hammer one on target, and Beggs makes the stop. Young will collect. Reese Young now is going to stay in play. Sets the screen for Masnick. Drives his shoulder, and he's cut off on a double team. Joel Mullen came in to close the gap on the Islanders' leading scorer. Williams goes around to screen himself, but can't get it on target. Brown just lets that go out of play, at least for Joel Mullen. Malott gets it down to Cowan. Chase Hemmerling-McLean will be the late man to join. Daniel Mahoney. Pass across. Malott was open for a moment. There was a fallen defender. Now Wall spins. Back to Malott. He has room to shoot and puts it off the glove of Beggs. Another glove stop in this period for Grayson Beggs. He is keeping this just a 1-goal deficit for his team. Now Blake Young will fire off a defender. Check that. It was Lincoln Wall. The forward back for a defensive shift. Will be credited with a block, but he has to stay out, see if Delta can take advantage. Now he's the high defender. Islanders running out of time. They'll get a shot on target. Goes into the stick of Ashton Brown, who will look up in transition. That could have been much worse with Lincoln Wall stuck for a D shift. The Islanders unable to take advantage. Now he'll get a break as some other lefties will get an offensive set. Fournier, Mills, and Hemmerling-McLean. Mahoney and Ross as the righties. Underhand feed. Hemmerling-McLean makes a step through to the middle. Fournier tried to take the pass, but he bobbled it. Delta's going to push. Meach will cut off the transition. Anderson, first man in. Mills was staying in the offensive zone for a moment, but makes the sprint. He'll be replaced by Levi Tui. Masnick. Watched by Meach. Spins. Runs into a double team. Gets through. Scores! What a goal by Masnick! Ties things up at 8. Runs into a double team. No problem for Jared Masnick. Faked the spin up. Came back underneath and goes one-on-one with Brown. And with 11:48 remaining, we are once again back to even. Delta has finally taken the lead in the shots category as well. They've trailed in terms of shots for almost this entire game. And somehow, some way, that is Masnick's first of the game. He is usually all over the goal column. 12 on the year coming into this one. Of course, now up to 13. But a couple of assists to his name tonight as well. He's up to 3 points. Turner Anderson's leading the way for the Islanders on a 5-point evening. Now Malott will skip across. Mills returns the feed to Malott, who ran out of time. Here's Mahoney. Back to Mills. He'll shoot from distance, and Beggs will swallow that. Lincoln Wall, Daniel Mahoney, and Josh Mills each with 3 points. Mahoney with 3 assists. And speaking of Mahoney, he has been piling up points for the Poco Saints in recent days. 10 points in his last 2 games as he had back-to-back 5-point nights. Now Masnick looking for his second. He'll put it towards the crease. Scores! Delta gets their first lead of the game halfway through the 3rd period. It'll be you and Patrick. And what a time to find your first goal of the game. The former New Westminster Salmon Belly. And now for the first time in this game, it's the Poco Saints trailing and looking for a bounce back of their own. Fournier to Ross. Good motion for Poco. Ross gets through, fires into the stick of Beggs. He'll make the easy stop. Look up for a quick pass over the center line. It's on the mark. Sampson crunched by Wall. Pass for Williams was just out of his reach. Weisbrot finds it. Gill is open through the middle, and the pass is just behind him. Now Damsgaard wants to run. He'll go up the floor with Meach. Damsgaard quickly going in to set the screen. Meach decides to slow things down, feeds Mills. Mahoney. Kept at bay by Ty Bickick. Shot clock winds down to 10. Ross over to Josh Mills. He'll drive, shoot, doesn't get through. Loose ball goes into the stick of Jamie Thompson. Young to Masnick. Does he have another in his pocket? He'll fake the pass to the outside and just run it there himself. Get it back down. Still with it is Masnick. Another swim move, another shot, and another save by Brown. Jared Masnick at one point wore a Poco Saints uniform a couple of years ago in the Founders Cup. And from my understanding, took last year off. Now with the Delta Islanders and putting up quality numbers for this team. Sampson, Miles down to the crease, back to Sampson, who was on his wrong side. Mullen sprints up to collect the ball off the sideboards. He'll get it over center. 8:35 left in the 3rd period. Saints trailing by 1. All it takes is one shot. Who has it in their stick? Parker Malott. His hands are free. He'll dish. Shot. Didn't get through. Squarick finds it. Has a lane to the goal. He's going to take it in himself. Squarick into the stick of Brown. Lob pass ahead to Fisher. He'll shovel it to Mills. Return feed. Mills doesn't like the contact that Squarick gave him. Fisher's going to stay and play an O-shift here. He had a goal that was disallowed earlier in this game. Ross finds it on the rebound. Here's Fisher. Gets around the horn. Fisher. Over to Mills. Gets the screen from Cowan. Back to Fisher, now near side. Mahoney hoping for a short side bid. That goes wide. Ross was knocked down. Mahoney tucks, drives through the middle. He'll shoot, he'll score! Daniel Mahoney, what a beauty! Tie game once again, 9 apiece. And watch the individual effort from Daniel Mahoney. Tucks through the high defender, cuts back through the middle, past the low one, and Fires it short side on Beggs, who needs some more equipment repairs. I believe it's his helmet. And maybe a bit of a veteran move from Grayson Beggs as well to try to slow down this game a little bit. The savvy veteran, Grayson Beggs. It's up to 41 saves in this game. Yeah, why not? Let's pay a bill here, shall we? Rycor Construction has been providing quality craftsmanship to the Lower Mainland for over 15 years. Specializing in residential renovations, anything from a kitchen or bathroom makeover to a full home renovation. They're family owned and operated and pride themselves on an exceptional client experience. RycorConstruction.ca. And right on cue, that leads to a Poco face-off win. Unfortunately for them, however, they'll turn it over. Ty Bickick spins through a double team and gets it to Jake Young. Fake shot from the outside. Now Jake Young on a lefty strong set. He'll put that over top of a defender, but can't get it past Brown. Takes it right into his midsection. So Mahoney now up to 4 points. Emmerling McLean would be denied on the pick and roll effort. One more point for Mahoney, and that would give him 3 straight 5-point performances. Now a rising shot from Fournier. That goes off the shoulder of Beggs and out of play. Reset for Poco. Now Hammerling McLean instructed to shoot from his coaching staff. He gets it on target. Beggs will hang on for the quick whistle, and Delta will clear the center line. Here's Blake Young, watched by Andrew Cowan. Pass is picked off by Fisher, or at least knocked back to the perimeter. Unable to fully corral it. Weisbrod takes it back into the zone. Williams tries to feed through the middle. Good stick, though, by Levi Tui, who's just hounding Scott Williams, refusing to let anything go through. A late shot was going to go wide, but Brown will collect. Send it forward to Mills. Already with a hat trick for Josh Mills, with a few that came early. Now Nolan Ross working with Mahoney. Back to Mills on another lefty strong set. It's Wall, Cowan, and Mills. Wall shot off the outside of the leg pad of Beggs. Ross finds the rebound and a reset for the Saints. Just over 5 minutes remaining in regulation. Mahoney on the toe drag. A sharp angle shot and a delayed call coming up against Delta. A crucial time of the game here in Poco. 1 for 2 on their power play. They're going to get a chance to reclaim the lead. Since 1948, Harkin Towing has been moving the Pacific Northwest. Barge towing, log booms, ship docking, and more. With a full-service fleet and family-run grit. Visit harkintowing.com. So Andrew Cowan has the lone marker on the power play. Space is cleared for the point shot. Instead, Mills will fire into the left foot of Beggs. Reaches well outside of his crease. Now Mills will try to collect, and interference is going to be the call against Delta. Heads up play by the combination of Mills and Wall. After Beggs was fully out of his crease. More or less just boxed out the Delta netminder. Now Mills, heavy shot. Better save, though, by Beggs. Pass ahead is off the turf. And onto the run goes LeBurge. Screen is set. Plenty of space. Tries to feed behind the net. Meach with a good stick knocks it down. Still time to work with on the power play for Poco. They'll cross center. 1:10 left. on the Delta penalty. Malott gets it. Return from him. Now Mills with a low shot, kicked aside by Beggs. It'll go off a Delta defender, and Beggs slow to pick it up. Now looks up the floor, just sends it deep into the corner, a dump and chase sort of scenario. Joel Mullen comes to close the gap and finds it. 40 seconds left on the power play. Mills calmly walking this over the center line. They're going to try the hidden ball trick again. Not going to work. Good communication from the Islanders bench. Cowan down low. Malott back to Cowan. No looker to the crease. Wall backhanded feed across and might have been forced a little bit. Reese Young picks it off, fights off the back, checking Nolan Ross. Runs into a double team, a blind pass through the middle, and it's collected by Anderson with a lane to the goal, decides against the shot. Wants to just kill the rest of this Jared Masnick penalty. He's successful in doing so. Now Blake Young denied by the crease call, and the official down low on the corner, refusing to let any fun happen in this building. 2:45 left in the third period. Dead even at 9. Wall spins. Fournier takes it on the bounce. Mahoney drives. Does he have another? He'll jump and shoot, and Beggs stands his ground. Every possession growing in importance here. 2.5 left. Pass just got over center in time. Ewan Patrick splits a couple of defenders in Mullen and Fisher. Masnick sprinting to the corner. Weisbrod and Gill will be the late Islanders to join. 10 to shoot, Weisbrod. Dishes to Masnick. Shot might have caught a deflection into the corner. Patrick from a sharp angle gets it on target, but he was below the goal line. So no credited shot. Now under 2 to play. Wall, Cowan, and Mills back onto the floor together. Mahoney and Ross will be the righties. Mills finds Mahoney. Looking for Ross, finds Mills instead. Shot, scores! Give him 4. With 1:37 left, Josh Mills puts Poco back in front. It wasn't the play they drew up, but it works, as Ross was the intended recipient, but it bounces past his stick and into the Saints' leading scorer, Josh Mills, who fires it past Beggs. And Poco leads 10-9 with not a lot of time left, 1:35 now to be exact. And the Islanders will take possession off of Levi Tui's hit. That would be called interference. Islanders looking for an answer. Nice play by Tui. He wants to run. Gets away from some pressure. Meach finds Wall. 65 seconds left in regulation. Delta leaving a forward in the offensive zone, watched by Mullen. Wall across to Mahoney. Has room to go across. He feeds Cowan. 5 to shoot. A bouncer goes wide. Malott just bats it back to the Islanders. Beggs creeping towards the bench, and the Islanders are going to call timeout now that they're in the offensive zone. 38.2 seconds remain on the clock. And they'll come back together with the clipboard, the combination of Logan Schuss and Jordan McBride. Looks like Logan is going to lead the charge in trying to draw up a play here. The Islanders will get right back to action. After this game, they play again tomorrow at home versus the Burnaby Lakers. And they would love to be in a position to try to make that a 4-game winning streak. Of course, currently on a 2-game heater. If they're able to come back in this game, not really much of a math guy, but that would put them up to 3 straight. And now you see where I'm going. Then they go back home and maybe make it 4 straight against Burnaby. Hold your horses, though, George. They got 38 seconds left to get through here and still trail by 1. Poco trying to get back into the win column after losing their last game yesterday versus Langley. By this exact same score, actually. 10-9 they fell last night. 10-9 they lead now. Beggs on the bench at 6-on-5 for the Islanders. Working it from behind the net. Trying to lull the defenders to sleep while some cutters get through. Young fires it wide. Rebound goes to the corner. Anderson digging for it. Mullen comes over. There's 20 seconds left. Blake Young has come onto the floor. Masnick finds possession, though. The net is still empty. He falls, and it's going to be a crease violation. Poco possession. Delta's got to press here. Masnick gets back to his feet. Mullen from behind the net lobs it deep to Andrew Cowan. He's got an empty net. He fakes the shot. Beggs gets back now. The clock goes down to 6. Poco's going to hang on, and they're going to exercise their demons from 24 hours ago. A late goal from Josh Mills will be the winner, and the Poco Saints take this one 10-9 over the Islanders. At times it wasn't pretty, but they refused to quit, leading for much of this game until the Islanders turned it on late and took their first lead when at the time it mattered most. But Poco bears down, and Josh Mills will be credited with the winner officially. And look at that. Daniel Mahoney did get his 4th assist. So with a goal as well, that makes 3 straight 5-point performances from Daniel Mahoney. And, well, would you look at that? The exact opposite stat line from Josh Mills. 4 goals and a helper to give him 5 points in the game. Ashton Brown, 42 save performance, an .824 save percentage. And good enough to lead this team to a 10-9 victory. What a game, what a night. Friday Night Lights came up clutch once again. But that's going to do it for the entire cast of characters here in the booth. For cameraman extraordinaire George Parra, I've been Tino Farah, we've been BC Sports TV, and we will see you next time.